Welcome back. So we're having a conversation about life expectancy, but particularly with compromised individuals and how to calculate it. So there's going to be a summit bringing together local practitioners in personal injury litigation, doctors, life and health insurers, therapists, statisticians, actuaries, all coming under one roof at the Life Expectancy Symposium, Personal Injury Claims. Now, the big questions taking place at Durban Southern Sun Elangeni on the 27th of October. This gathering is the brainchild of seasoned occupational therapist Andiswa Gowa and qualified attorney Shivesh Haripersad, who join us in studio, and they have been talking to us on the program. So the reality and what we need to understand is that when it comes to other countries, you were giving California as an example, we don't have that standard way. There are many ways of calculating for a compromised individual life expectancy, but what you're trying to develop here is a standard calculation that can be used across the board.
Specifically in the South African context.
In the South African context.
Because we don't have that data.
Yes.
And the variables that are used, for example, in California, they include gross motor movement of a person, that is whether this person can walk, whether this person can roll, and so forth. So we need to have that kind of a data in the South African context to be able to have our own analysis and our own unique South African data.
Yeah. How much is it costing the state?
We don't know. But what we do know is from the headlines we see every day and the recent statistics, if different provinces like Gauteng are facing R1 billion in claims, if the Eastern Cape can be facing into the hundreds of millions rands in medical negligence claims, how much of those millions actually were paid out when someone incorrectly worked out the life expectancy? So the cost is unknown. Yeah. And that becomes a very sensational issue.
It's a big, it's a large, it's a large chunk, which is what the problem is. I mean, how accurate is it though? How accurate do they work it out? I mean, have you got an example that you can give us of how they've got it exceptionally wrong?
Not to say they got it wrong, because obviously in South Africa we have to accept that we're wading through very difficult ground because we don't have our own statistics. Yeah. But an example would be that you might have one expert saying that the compromised person might live up till the age of 25. But you might have another expert who looks at the exact same child saying the child will live up to 35. Okay. Now you've got a difference of 10 years, which could potentially add 5, 6, 7 million to that one specific claim. And this is where the difficulty comes into play. How do we actually look for a uniformity in assessing what those variables are that should be utilized in looking at that unique life expectancy for that compromised individual? What we're saying is we don't have the answers. Yeah. And that's not what we're trying to display, the fact that the answers are easy, etc. What we're saying is, let's start a conversation. And if we start a conversation, smart minds from different industries can come together and can consider what is the best path forward for South Africa.
Very interesting, and that's exactly what's going to be taking place at the symposium. Exactly. It's starting on the 27th. Have you spoken to government about this? Are they in?
Yes, no, they're definitely in. Yeah. We have managed to speak to the Department of Health, the Department of Justice, the judiciary system. So at least we've got the key role players, but not all. Okay. I think another challenge that we have is that people talk about life expectancy at a general level. So we need more of the people to understand these differences, and all the stakeholders to be part of this. Excellent. Because it's not just the government, as you said earlier, it's insurances. Yeah, there's
many facets to this. Just finally, on a closing note, what are you hoping to achieve? Obviously, it is a talk shop at this stage, but at the end of it, are you hoping there will be a tangible result after the symposium concludes?
I think, firstly, my idea of success would be for people to come in and see what the difficulties are. You have to know what the problem is before you can find a solution. Yeah. And so many people are not aware of what the problem is. The workshop, the symposium, is to get people together from different industries, look at the fact that we have a difference in the way we look at this issue, say these are the problems, and then start charting a path in which we can find a better solution long term.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
If I can just add one thing, Elian, before we stop. Also, even with us as medical personnel, we don't know our role in understanding the life expectancy, because most people think that it's a decision that can only be done by the doctor, whilst the therapists, the nurses and everybody are important in identifying all the variables. So it's not just the doctors, but it's everybody who is involved in assessing people that are compromised.
Thank you for talking to us here on the program. Good luck. 27th of October. Where can people find information if they would like? People, is it open to attend to anyone?
Yes, they can go to the website, and that is www.simimedia.com.
Yeah.
All the details about registration and the date, place, time is available.
All available. Well, there you go. It's on screen. Visit the website. You'll be able to find everything you need there. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Shivesh and Andiswa, the brainchildren, I should say, the two of you behind the symposium that's taking place on the 27th of October. All right, before we say goodbye to you, I know that